Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. Want to bring you a video on the great debate as Dragonflight is coming up in the next few months. And everyone always questions, what should I be? Should I be Horde? Should I be Alliance? And what classes to play? Well, this isn't a class guide. I'll give a little tidbit of insight at the end of it if you watch the video to the end. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And look at the links below. We have a link to the Twitch. Come check us out streaming on Twitch. Multiple games, all your MMO need. And we will be also doing a lot of streaming for WoW, hopefully Mythic Plus keys. Just starting to stream a lot more. And there will be a link to the Patreon. If you want to support the channel further, please check out the Patreon page and see what we have to offer there. But getting into the video, the first question is going to be, actually it's not going to be a question, the first statement is going to be play whatever you like. Play whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, whatever class you like, whatever you want, play that. You're going to have the most fun playing the one you want. Secondly, what content do you want to play? Because that, again, leads to a big difference in what is going to be the best. Is it going to be Mythic Plus? Is it going to be just questing and doing dailies? Because then it really just comes up to whatever you want. Is it going to be, do you want to tackle some high-end Mythic rating? That will be the first question you need to answer. And then after that, you'll be able to go through further and what else you want to play. If you're looking, and this is strictly the best of the best and the quickest of the quickest, if you're looking on getting into the best groups, well, now with cross faction, it changes things slightly, but in Mythic rating, the Horde side always fills up hugely faster than the Alliance side. So Horde rating, best of the best rating, Horde still has it hands down, not even close. And Horde is very quick, very fast at filling up all the rating. So if you're looking for that content, definitely select the Horde side. And I could go in through all these classes and kind of show which is the best of the best and what would be your best pick. But right now, Mythic rating, if that's what your jam is and that's what you're going for, Horde will be your best option to find a guild, find a great raid team, find one that's pushing content. They just do it much quicker and much faster than Alliance. Now, if you're not into high-end rating, do you still pick Horde? Well, Horde also is a little faction dependent because a lot of the factions, or not factions, realms, a lot of the realms, there are some better ones than others, like Illidan. You know, Illidan is the biggest realm on Horde. It has, you know, all the big ones in US, all the big guilds are there. That is a realm that is packed, and there is a ton of people that play on it, and it is very, very big with a lot of top-end guilds. So if that's what you're looking for, that realm will help you. Area 52 is another great one for Horde. Alliance has some good realms as well, so that should be your next question. What realm should I pick if I'm going Horde? Personally, I'm looking at Illidan. I'm looking at probably Area 52 are going to be my first two picks. There are some other ones, but those would be my first two personally. If I'm looking at Alliance, I'm looking Sargeras, Stormrage, Proudmoore, depending on where you are. Those are all great Alliance picks. If you're getting into other content, like I said, other Mythic rating, you can be anything you want. If you're pushing the highest keys, Dwarf for a lot of classes is going to be best. It's going to be boring. It's going to be Dwarf. It is just purely for the stone form, and that is especially for the DPS specs. We're talking the Windwalker monks, we're talking the hunters, because hunters have terrible defenses. They're squishy. We're talking the shamans. A lot of them have gone dwarf, and stone form will save you in the high-end keys. Now, if you're talking other specs, it really just depends on the spec. But if Mythic Plus content is where you want to be and you want to give yourself that ever so slight advantage, we're talking like a % of advantage, then Dwarf is going to be a lot of them for the high-end keys, and that will be one for most. Now, there are definitely other classes that do very well and that are a top picks as well. But it just then it's very class specific. So I could go through all these, but it would take a while. Again, a lot of the good traits that you're going to look for. If you're Horde, if you want to play one that gives you a little more damage, you're going to be playing Orc or Troll for the most part. There are some niche plays with other ones. Tauren has a great defense or offensive stomp. So stomp stuns an enemy. So if your class is missing a stun or something, or you're looking for that, a Tauren is a great racial. Alliance doesn't have that many fantastic racials for classes, and it really comes down to, again, being class specific. And if you want to see what the best of the best are running, always check out raider.io. You can sort it by top person in Mythic Plus, and you can see what they're playing, and you can see what class they're playing, what spec they're playing, what race they are. And now this does not help you align with the top Mythic Plus groups, because you still have to have a group to do that content. But, you know, the top, let's say, rogue is going to be Night Phage, just for that extra ability to meld into the shadows with Shadow Meld, and then stealth again. You know, if you're an Orc, you might play a Blood Elf. Sorry, if you're a Horde, you might play a Blood Elf rogue just for that extra purge, because purges in Mythic Plus are very, very handy. But splitting it again, it's very, very class specific. So I don't want to bore everyone with class specific ones, going through each one, telling which one could be the best. Definitely check yours out on raider.io. There will be a lot, and they'll switch all the time. Like, the top ones will find a different trait or a different niche for the season, and they might switch. So it might change. Like a top holy priest, you're seeing a ton of alliance, and that's that strictly comes down to people want the racial of Night Elf. Night Elf has a great racial, and if you're taking aggro as a priest, you can just Shadow Meld and it's gone. It's a great racial to have, and that's why a lot of people pick it. It's just so they don't get aggro while they're doing their ramps and healing and all that. So if you're looking for a, you know, high-end Mythic Plus and you want to play Holy Priest, and that is what you want to play, Night Elf will give you that advantage. And there's many different ones. There's some that are split almost 50-50. A Demon Hunter, really, it doesn't matter. Both racials are good for a Demon Hunter. The Purge is marginally better, but it will give you a slight advantage over the Shadow Meld. So again, it comes down to what content you want to do. Once you've narrowed that down, what realm you want to pick, and then once you find a realm, like Mythic Plus, it's not really realm specific. You'll find a little bit more guilds on either one, but Mythic Plus is not a realm specific one. So if you go raiding, then you go realm, then you can pick your faction, and again, that will be, you know, raiding, realm, Horde for the majority. Not to deter you from Alliance, but Horde just is much better at the raiding scene. But if you go Mythic Plus, you can go really Mythic Plus, Alliance, and then it really doesn't matter your server, as cross-faction plays in there. So just to give you a little insight, again, if you're looking for class-specific, definitely check out Raider.io. It will give you the best idea of what they're playing. And like I said, I don't want to bore everyone. If you want me to leave a comment below, and I can tell you what the best are playing in your spec. Tell me the spec. I'll tell you what the best are playing. That's not a problem. And that will give you a little insight on what to help you out with the Mythic Plus as well. Now, could this change in Dragonflight? Absolutely, it could change in Dragonflight. And is it something that you need to do? Absolutely not. You don't need to be class and faction specific. Again, like every class and faction, you know, you can play as viable, but for the majority, if you are playing certain classes, it does give you a slight advantage. And if you are pushing high-end Mythic Plus, being a dwarf protection paladin will give you an extra defensive when you are squishy. So, you know, you're at a defensive, you need something, Stoneform. Every 2 minutes, you get a great defensive in Stoneform. Dark Iron Dwarf has a great one too, to remove harmful effects to empower you. This was huge in certain dungeons like Nightfall. Last boss Nightfall. phenomenal trait to have. Like, you just purge out that last disease and you're doing amazing. It was a just fantastic trait to have in the dungeon. So it will change dungeon to dungeon, season to season. That is the downfall. But again, for the most part, until it changes currently, Dwarf has one of the best racials in the game for pushing high-end keys. So Alliance might be your play. And if you're looking for more offense and you feel you have enough defensives for the high-end keys, Orc and Troll are always a good pick for your class. So coming down to if you want defensive or offensive, that will be your trait. Now, getting into the last thing I said I'd give you a little insight on what classes could be top in Dragonflight. Now, going through the reviews and what classes have been top and what specs have been top, you are pretty much going to be safe, or should be safe. I don't want to guarantee this, but Mage is always a pick that does well with Blizzard. Mage is their iconic class. Usually fire, but some of the other ones usually come in every once in a while for a season or two. But Mage is always a top spec. It just happens. That's what it is. The Mage is always usually good. It's always up there. Blizzard never seems to want them to go down. And again, because it is a spec that could use another defensive, Dwarf would be your absolute top pick for high-end Mythic Plus for that extra defensive. If you did want to go to Horde and you decided Horde, I would suggest Orc. By all means, be a different one, but I would suggest Orc. And the other class that is tops, and the other, if you don't want to be a ranged DPS, melee DPS, that the odds are they're going to have a spec that is going to be good, is going to be Rogue. And again, Night Elf Rogue is the play. Night Elf Rogue is one because it's more difficult to hit, can fit or go shadow meld into stealth, and then it's faster movement, well stepped. So Night Elf will be your Alliance best in slot pick, and then after that you can pick any Horde like Orc or Blood Elf or whatever. But those two for Dragonflight will be probably top classes. Just a little guess, just a little insight. If that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a meta class, these two will likely be meta or very close to meta. If they're not S tier, they will be high A tier. So if you're looking to play the meta, if you're looking for that, again, Mage, Rogue, always a good choice. If you're looking Mage, actually Alliance will be pretty good with Dwarf. And if you're looking Rogue, Night Elf. If you've decided you want to play Horde though, pick anything you want. But the best in the best will be Mage, probably Rogue. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe, deflect, firm but fair gaming. We'll see you in the next video.